What is a subject to? Guys, this is Ginn, and in this video, I'm going to make it super simple, explain to you what a subject to is, why it's beneficial for you to use it, and how it benefits your sellers. Guys, most gurus are going to charge you 5 to 10 grand how to learn this. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to make it so simple so you can find any of these types of deals. And I'm going to make it super simple where if you've never even done a deal, you can easily do this on your own. But before we get into it, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to continue to receive authentic free videos just like this to really teach you how to do this business. So I know you've heard the term subject to, and subject to is just a strategy used within creative financing. And what I thought I'd do is just use a whiteboard and break it down for you. And as I said earlier, everybody makes this so super complicated. By the end of this video, if you stay with me till the end, I promise you this, you will fully understand it. You'll understand how to identify them, how to look for them, and what types of deals qualify for a subject to. Because to be honest with you, that's the biggest challenge with doing these deals. Let's walk through it. So number one is you have to understand how many types of ways are there to buy a property. There's only 3 ways. And I'm going to put them right here on the whiteboard. 3 ways to really close on property. If you guys have followed me and Zach at all in any type of wholesaling, you understand option number 1 as a wholesaler is going to be cash. Okay. That's cash. That's cash out of someone's bank account. It's funded, it's paid for, and that's it. And we all know that as wholesalers, that's the service we offer. We provide cash buyers. And if you want to learn more how to do that, go over to freewholesaling.com. We show you how to get started from zero with no experience up to your first $100,000, 100% for free. We're the only people that provide 100% free value. I don't offer upgrades. I don't sell you up on a course, and that should speak on its own. So number 1 is cash, okay? The second one is going to be bank financing. Okay. I also call it kind of traditional financing. This is when you go and apply for a loan. You put down anywhere from no percent to 25%, depending on your credit score, your income, everything else. And then the bank will usually fund about 80% of the transaction. So 80, and then sometimes up to like 95%. Now, this is the predominant way people are going to buy houses is with bank financing. This is where most of your realtors come in. It's probably 95%, probably around 85 to 90% of transactions, because cash does make up a good portion of really great deals. So we're only down to one more option. We simply break it down as what we call creative financing. And here's how you qualify anything creative financing. Creative financing is basically, this is really simple, and I'll make it very visual for you. If you don't pay cash and you don't do bank financing, you do creative financing. Now, let's talk about the types of creative financing, because that is really simple and you want to understand it. Creative financing, you have several options on it. Option number 1 is what we call seller financing. And this is exactly what it says. Do not complicate this. Typically, a seller financing owns 100% of the property, free and clear. And then in turn, what they do is they become the bank. And why would they do this? Because they don't want to deal with the property, but they would like some nice income coming in on the property. And maybe it is a tax situation. It doesn't matter. And this is what they choose to do. And a lot of great deals go down this thing. The sky's the limit in what you can do. The key with this is these properties are typically going to be free and clear. Now, the people that want to do deals just like this, they're doing it for a purpose. They don't want to deal with the property. They want to delay taxes. They don't want to pay capital gains, whatever it is, and they can get creative. Now, sometimes these are a little bit more difficult because the person on the other end is usually an experienced investor. And in the beginning, these are challenges as newbies, and you most likely want to bring somebody in to help structure a bigger deal for this if you have no experience doing it. But we are here today to talk about option number 2, and this is called subject to. Okay. And all subject to is a type of creative financing. And so many people like, is it creative financing? Creative financing is a category. You have cash, you have traditional bank financing, and then you have creative financing. One of the 3 ways to buy property. Don't let anybody spin you on it. Don't let a complicated course give you 3 million options. These are the ways to close on a property. There are additional tools you can use to control a property, but we're talking about taking complete ownership of a property. So on a subject to, it's literally what it says. You are going to buy the property subject to the existing mortgage in place. Okay. And let me tell you why this is so valuable is because you don't have to go out, apply for traditional loans or anything like that. And this is what you call a subject to. And you can take these down just like a traditional closing. And actually on all your purchase and sales agreement, even on the realtor's approved contracts, there is a little line set on there and it'll say subject to amount. So if you're taking over an example of a $100,000 mortgage and it's $700 a month, then you're taking it on with the pre-existing mortgage conditions. But I'm not a lawyer. I'm not here to get into like the legal framework on it. Let me give you an example of how this works because it's much more powerful when I show you the math on it. And then I'm going to explain why a seller would want to do it. And I'm going to explain why you, the wholesaler, would want to do a transaction like this. So number one, most people that are going to do a subject to are usually in over their head on the property. They usually did an emotional purchase. They bought the property. Maybe something changed in their life. It could be a divorce. It could be a loss of job. It could be a family emergency. It could be anything. So say they bought the house, let's just say for $200,000. Okay. Purchase price. So let's say 2 years goes by. Okay. They've only made 2 years of payments. And now they said, listen, something's changed. I got to sell the property no matter what it is. Okay. What happens here is $200,000 on the property, and the value of the property is basically $205,000. And a lot of sellers will go like this, well, that's not too bad. I'm here to tell you that's a terrible, terrible projection because the problem is, the reality is by the time they paid closing costs and everything, they probably paid another $15,000. They're already upside down almost $10K right off the bat. So for them to sell it traditionally with a realtor, the realtor listens, it's 205. By the time they're done deducting fees and doing negotiations, they're going to have to take off at least 10%. If we minus off 10%, 20,500, I'm doing simple math here. Basically, we're going to be down to around 195 and change. The problem is now they owe about 196 on their mortgage. So basically their mortgage is greater than the current value of the property. And the challenge is here is why would they, what's this 10%? Well, the 10% is going to do the 6% realty fees, realtor. You got about another 3% in closing costs. And then you figure about another 3% negotiations. If the property is worth about what you owe on the mortgage, if they wanted to sell it traditionally with a realtor, they would have to come to the closing table probably about $20,000 to $25,000. Insane. And when people get this news, especially like a younger couple, it hurts. And it puts them in a very dangerous place because what are you going to do? They already can't afford the existing mortgage on the house. So let's go through it. Let's talk about what's in it for the seller. WIFS. What's in it for the seller? So number one, they can sell and pay $25K. And basically that's as painful as it gets. We all agree on that. And no seller wants to do that. So they're looking for alternative options. Okay. The reality is there's only 3 more options. Option number 2, let bank foreclose. I know that sounds terrible, but it's truly an option they have to explore. You guys know if they let the bank foreclose on it, it's going to ruin their credit. They probably can't buy another property for at least, they say 3 years, but to be honest with you, it stays on the record for 10 years and the credit's just going to be destroyed, sub 500 on their credit score. So option 1, they don't want to do. Option 2, they definitely want to do. So what's going to be our option number 3? Hey, why don't we rent it out and we just cover the rent with the rent? The reality, if they rent it out, it'll wind up being a wholesale deal that they'll be even deeper in the hole. Most homeowners are not conditioned to be landlords, and it is a terrible decision. And if you ever see someone take this route, I guarantee the property's headed towards a wholesale deal because the property's going to get trashed. On top of the $25,000 plus the $30,000 to $50,000 in repair, then you've really stacked on and compounded the problem. So that's not going to be a great option. Okay. Number 4. Now this is an option. It's a creative deal. Okay. And what type of creative deal is going to work on this? Subject to. Now, these are the options. Let's talk about what's in it for the seller if they decide to take the subject to. Okay. Now, at this point, if you look at all four options, I want you to get and envision the picture. I want you to think like a seller. If you went through option 1 through 3, you'd be like, oh my God. Option 4 now seems really attractive. Okay. And to be honest with you, it's the only logical solution to dig them out of this hole. So let's walk out what's the benefit if they do a subject to deal. Why would a seller ever even consider this? Number one, no cost. Okay. No money out of pocket. And in a lot of subject twos, we can give the seller some money to induce them to enter into the offer. So going from owing $25,000 to maybe giving them $3,000 to $5,000 or just digging them out of this hole is a huge win for them. And for option number one, what's in it for the seller? It is huge, guys. They can actually walk out of the deal with money. Think about that for a second. Number two, you avoid foreclosure. Not only does it hit on your credit, it hits you financially. It makes everything more expensive to buy. You cannot finance anything. A lot of people are like extremely embarrassed to be on that public list. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of pride factors that come into it. Number three, you're going to save their credit score. So if I take over your property subject to, it means I'm basically taking your place of where the mortgage is. I'm in control of the property. I settle whatever fee I decide to give you. Sometimes it's $100, sometimes it's $5,000. I like a nice low down payment on a clean property. And then I make on-time monthly payment, because if I don't, then I will lose the house. By me making those on-time monthly payments, your credit score actually goes up or stays intact. Or if it was damaged and payments are made up, this fixes the entire deal for you. Guys, I'm telling you, man, it is a huge win. So when a lot of people are like, why would someone do a subject to? Here's the secret. You are the only solution for them. A realtor can't fix it. A cash buyer can't fix it. But you, the creative finance guy, can fix this deal. The key is not to force these deals. They have to be completely acceptable to the terms. They have to go option one, I can't pay $25K. Option two, I can't let the bank foreclose on it. 3, rent it. I could never do that to this house. It's too nice. I'm a terrible landlord. Number 4, creative deal. We can walk away with some money, no out-of-pocket expense, avoid foreclosure, and save our credit. Rick, where do I sign up? I want to go right now. So the last part of this is basically talking about what's in it for the wholesaler. Okay. What's in it for the wholesaler? Not only do you really help people's lives out, you have got to understand the huge advantages of doing this. You're able to buy property with little cash. Imagine yourself taking over a beautiful house for $3,000, $5,000, or even $7,000. And here's the key, guys. That down payment you're going to give your subject to, it's not going to be your money. You're going to go find an end buyer to take that over, and you're going to sell another creative terms. That's going to be in another video in part 2, and I'll show you how to do that. Stop worrying about the money you pay them, because I will pay more for a product that's ready to be delivered and doesn't need repairs. Why? Because it saves me a ton of money, and more importantly, it saves me time. Number 2, you're going to do more deals because you understand subject to. You guys understand that? And number 3, you don't need hard money. You don't even need soft money. You don't even need private money to do this, okay? If you find nice, clean houses in good neighborhoods where people are in over their head, upside down, or just can't make the payment anymore, and you are the only solution for them, if they agree you can take over and make their mortgage payment just like you were in their shoes, you have to be responsible, make the payments, and then basically you're going to turn around and find another seller, which I will do in another video with that, and then they are going to fund any of your down payment. And here's the best part. Most of these deals can be done anywhere from 3 to 10 days. The thing that takes the most amount of time if they live in the property is just having them move out and go from there. Guys, think about this. Oh, you have no bank qualifying. I don't know if you've gotten a loan lately. I've gone through some commercial projects. It's beyond painful right now to get a loan. You have to have a ton of money in the bank. You have to have incredible income. You have to have little to no debt. And then even if you get through all that and pay all the bank fees, the appraisals, the underwriting, all the fees, the recording fees, you are going to wind up at an 8 or 9% project. Hopefully these numbers come down, but why wouldn't you? And keep in mind, a lot of these people you're buying subject to properties, think about rates over the last few years, guys, anywhere from 2.7% to 5, I'll even say 5.5%. That's a home run. So not only are you getting cheaper financing, you're paying down the mortgage faster, and it's a huge win-win for everyone. So I want you to understand this. Okay. Last one, subject to deals. You have to be the only solution for them. And by the way, you can never force someone to do this. it has to be the only fit for them. When it's the only fit, they are some of the easiest deals you'll ever do because they've already tried the realtor. They've already tried the wholesaler for the cash deal. He couldn't make it work. And by the way, you guys know we teach wholesaling because it's the fundamentals of getting started in all real estate investing. So why not add subject to your pipeline? Now that you know how to identify subject twos, and I've broken down, it's not an 8-week course, you can easily go find anybody that fits these parameters. And what I'm going to do is follow this up with videos to teach you how to get your end buyer into these properties, how to profit from the 3 profit centers, and how you can repeat this process over and over. And guys, these are not hard to find. We're looking for people that bought property in the last 2 to 3 years with a small down payment and had some sort of motivating factor that they can't keep it going. And then once they go through all the phases of learning the 4 ways in which there are 4 options for them with the property is, there's only one good solution in this. And that's how subject to works. Subject to is not a sales process. It's just letting people know that you're a quality investor. You want to help them out. You understand how subject to works. Now, it's a little bit different in each state. I'm not going to get in the details on that video. We're going to follow it up. But guys, you tell me, are you using subject twos? Because they are not complicated. They're very straightforward. And there's people in this economy, especially going forward, that are going to need your help. The question is, are you going to take the time to listen to subject twos? And do you know how to identify them? So in our next series, we're going to teach you what to do after you get them, teach you about the paperwork, how to find the buyer, and how to profit from the 3 profit centers. Guys, let me know in the comments, are you adding subject twos to your wholesaling operation? And if so, let me know what you need, what information I can do to help you out. I'm trying to remove the barriers from people that are trying to extract money from your pocket. I want to teach everybody. I want to bring everybody along the ride. I'm tired of this takeover in our real estate investing. No longer are the gurus going to corner this information. I've been in this business almost 21 years now, and I am not going anywhere. And I want to get you guys this information as fast as possible. So go out and find some subject twos. All you are is taking over the existing subject to mortgage, meaning you're taking their mortgage and taking it over. And by the way, if you're worried about the bank calling it due, stop worrying about it. All the banks want is their money. They don't even own the mortgages. They just service them. Do me a favor. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you smash that like button if you got value from this video, and make sure you hit that subscribe button to be notified when I release the latest new videos. Guys, it's Rick Ginn, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.